The Center for Human Rights at the Catholic University of America has recently published an op-ed by Chen Guangcheng commemorating the anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre. To view this article, check the link in the description or go to humanrights.catholic.edu. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Barefoot Lawyer Reports on China. My name is Will Deathridge, the producer, and joining me as always is Chen Guangcheng.
Hello Will, hello everyone, I'm glad to see you here again.
Yeah, today we have a pretty terrifying topic coming out of China. Guangcheng, could you explain what's going on?
Today we will share information we just got from mainland China in June 2025. Someone found in Hainan Province, the high coast city. In a truck, a person found 3 children inside. And they were in metal cages in the truck. Yeah, that means in mainland China, the human trafficking situation getting worse and worse.
Okay.
That made me remember 4 years ago when I called my friends in mainland China. They told me before their children come out to play by themselves, no problem. That is traditional in mainland China. But today, parents are afraid their children may be kidnapped if they go outside to play.
Yeah, so Guangcheng, you mentioned that 4 years ago, this wasn't as big of a problem.
Yeah, now it looks like the situation getting worse and worse. Many people think the children are being kidnapped for forced organ harvesting. So this is why more and more children are going missing.
So Guangcheng, is there any official confirmation that these children were being trafficked? Like, did the police say anything about it? I mean, it seems pretty clear to us if they're in cages in the back of the truck.
This is why a lot of people criticize the CCP.
Okay.
They said, in mainland China, there are a lot of cameras there.
Okay.
For every person, there are 2 cameras. But when their children disappeared, when they went to the police station to ask them to help them to find them, the police always say the camera is broken or the computer is broken. Yeah, if you want to use the surveillance system to find their children, it doesn't work. But if you protest there, of course, the cameras capture every detail to sentence the protesters.
Yeah. So, Guangcheng, do you know how widespread of a problem human trafficking is in China right now? Do we have any idea, how big of an issue it is?
I think the biggest problem is, the CCP is behind it. We have heard there are some officials who have had as many as 5 heart transplants, and now the officials 95 years old.
Gosh, one of our the other fellows at the Center for Human Rights, where Guangcheng, you're a fellow at, Dr. Sen Nye, he's come on the podcast a couple times to interview a survivor of organ harvesting. And one thing that we've heard on previous episodes, you and Dr. Nye talk about, is that there seems to be a surplus of organs in China, but not a ton of willing organ donors. Is that right?
Yeah, no donors.
Yeah.
Only a few donors there, I think. In mainland China, because the traditional culture, no one wants to do that. So how they can get a lot?
Like 5 heart transplants gosh,
like that.
It's crazy.
So,
so usually forced organ harvesting victims have been members of the Falun Gong religious group, but you're saying, Guangcheng, that there's also children being trafficked for organs. People are thinking that, right?
Yeah. We heard some news. The CCP found a way to use the children's blood or some part much better than an adult's organs.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And of course, the CCP isn't saying anything about this, right, Guangcheng?
Yeah, of course. If the CCP have to answer the question, they will say, all that is a rumor.
Right.
But in fact, the CCP cannot answer why in mainland China a lot of people disappeared.
Right.
They cannot answer. Yeah, and very easy to get it from a hospital.
A new organ, right?
Yeah. So if you're in the US, you have to wait several years. But in mainland China, if you give them enough money, maybe you can get in several weeks, even several days.
Yeah, Guangqing, these disappearances and these alleged kidnappings, where do they take place? Like, are there parts of China where it's more common for people to go missing? Do you know?
Very difficult to get more detail.
Okay.
This one we just know come from Hainan Province.
Okay.
But I believe not just the Hainan Province. The CCP use different way to get the blood transfusions in school, in prison, in jail, but no one know what they are doing after they get the blood.
So you mentioned prisoners, you mentioned children, persecuted religious groups. It sounds to me like it's the, people who are vulnerable who are being used for this. Is that right, Guangcheng?
Yeah.
For the rich, right?
Yeah, if you are poor, if your children, even your family member disappeared, no way to find them.
Right. Communism isn't working for the poor very well, is it?
Yeah. I remember 2003, one person, he went to my house and he told me his brother went to Hainan Province to try to find a job. But 3 years later, no one knows where he is. And his father is blind. His family is very, very poor. And the CCP forced his father to pay taxes. Of course, that is illegal.
Right. People with disabilities aren't supposed to pay the taxes, right, Guangcheng?
Yeah. So I helped him to get them back from local government. So you can see in mainland China since 20 years ago, even 30 years ago, they are human trafficking.
Right. Well, hopefully more information will come to light about all this, and we'll be sure to share it on our website at humanrights.catholic.edu. Guangcheng, thank you very much for sharing this story with us. Yeah.
Thank you, Will. Thank you, everyone.
The Catholic University of America's Center for Human Rights has published a documentary on the United Nations Universal Declaration on Human Rights. The documentary features world-class human rights experts, from former State Department officials to ambassadors and human rights activists. It can be found on our website at humanrights.catholic.edu.